we are constantly surrounded by sound, but we prefer some sounds over others, particularly music. And why is that? Why are some sounds good as opposed to bad, and why do we like some more than others? Well, the answer to this question lies in two parts: the sound itself and how your body interprets it. Sound is just tiny little vibrations, and we can represent the waves they make with these sinusoidal graphs. And because sound isn't usually alone, we can actually stack these graphs on top of each other. These arrows represent a repeating pattern in the overlapping of these graphs, and the more this repetition occurs, the better they sound together. We can even add in a third graph, and even though it only has 3 arrows, because all 3 arrows overlap, these 3 sounds are great together. Take a listen. If we replace this one with another graph that only has 2 arrows that doesn't really overlap, well, it sounds off. That is, unless you're a musician. I'll explain later. This is called the relative frequency theory, and it helps us explain why some harmonies are innately better than others. But like I said earlier, this is not the whole story. There's a second part: how your body interprets sound. As you may know, your ear receives sound. When these tiny little vibrations enter your ear, they cause this fluid inside to move, and this movement triggers these tiny hair-like cells called stereocilia to send chemical messages to your brain. And this biological process is the same for everyone, so the differences in musical preference actually comes from the brain itself. For example, when we say musicians have a trained ear, we're not saying their ear has physically mutated. Instead, we're saying their brain is better and faster at interpreting the information. If you go back to the second sound I played, it sounds off or weird to normal people, but to musicians, it sounds completely normal. In fact, it's called a minor chord in music, and it sounds just as good as the first sound I played. The rest can be attributed to sociocultural psychology, or the idea that we are affected by those around us. We can hear a wide range of frequencies, but because we only hear specific ones in Western music or certain genres, anything else sounds a little weird. Here's a non-music example: the word 7. That sounds completely normal, but if I say it like this, seven, well, that sounds completely off, and that's because we're not accustomed to that second pronunciation. In the end, understanding how sound works is absolutely vital. We can not only better comprehend how our bodies perceive the world, but we can also help those who are hearing impaired or perceive differently. Sound waves are also a significant factor in mental and physical health and have been deemed a possible way to help diagnose health conditions. In the end, that inquisitive nature, that urge to investigate the world around you that you had when you clicked on this video, is exactly what's driving science.